Debates on who's the better NBA player have been around for decades, but some are a lot harder to decide on than others. That's exactly the case in this situation, where we're going to be covering Carmelo Anthony versus Andre Iguodala. Let's cover some of the major categories of their careers to give us a little insight on which of these two are the better player at this point in time. The first category we're talking about is total stats. Carmelo Anthony is coming off a 69-game season in which he averaged 13.3 points, 4.2 rebounds, and 1 assist per game. Over the course of his entire career, Melo's been able to play in 1,260 total games, and he's averaged 22.5 points, 6.2 rebounds, and 2.7 assists per contest. When it comes to his total stats, Anthony has scored a whopping 28,289 points. He's also grabbed 7,808 rebounds and 3,422 assists up to this point. And finally, we get to the best year of his career. Melo had himself a time during the 2013-14 campaign, averaging 27.4 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 3.1 assists per game that season with the New York Knicks.
Anthony, met by James. Carmelo Anthony with her.
Now we're going to flip it over to Andre Iguodala. Iggy is a veteran in the league, and he's coming off a season in which he averaged just 4 points, 3.2 rebounds, and 3.7 assists a game across 31 appearances. As for his total 1,223 games in his career, Iguodala has averaged 11.4 points, 4.9 rebounds, and 4.2 assists per game. As you could probably tell comparing those stats with Melo's, Anthony was a primary scorer during a large part of his career, while Iggy, of course, has always been a stellar role player. Andre's total numbers go as follows. He has 13,951 points, 6,030 rebounds, and 5,128 assists. His best year came when he was still with the Philadelphia 76ers in 2007-2008. He averaged 19.9 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 4.8 assists per game.
Iguodala against James. Nice move. Scoots inside and throws it down.
As you'd guess, this category certainly seems to be on the side of Carmelo Anthony here, as he's pretty much got the better numbers across the board. Next up, we're going to look at head-to-head matchups, and surprisingly, we've seen these two guys play against one another a pretty good amount over the years. There's been a total of 27 matchups with one another, but Melo has had the constant edge in that competition. All 27 matchups were regular season games, with Anthony winning 15 of them compared to Iggy's 12. When it comes to their numbers in those games, well, clearly Anthony wins that category too. Melo has averaged 20.5 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 2.1 assists per game. These are slightly better numbers compared to what Iggy's been able to do in these games, where he averages 11.5 points and 4.9 rebounds, but he does take the assist edge with 4.1 dimes per game during this stretch. One of these matchups even included a 45-point showing from Anthony and a 31-point showing from Iguodala. When it comes to this category, again, the edge has to be on the side of Melo. Anthony has the better numbers, as you can tell, and his teams have typically had better success against Andre's teams. Alright, moving on. In all honesty, I think these two guys don't have their career accolades talked about enough, and that's why awards and such are going to be in this next category. Starting with Melo here, Anthony has been able to get named to 10 NBA All-Star games and 6 All-NBA teams. He was the 2012-13 NBA scoring champ and a 2003-2004 All-Rookie edition. Then to just top it all off, Anthony was also named to the NBA 75th anniversary team. On the other side of things, we got Iguodala. Iggy was only named to the All-Star game once, surprisingly, but his playoff success has been far greater than Anthony's. He's currently a 4-time NBA champion and a 2014-15 NBA Finals MVP winner. Not just that, but he was a member of the All-Defensive team twice and the 2004-2005 All-Rookie team. When it comes to the winner of this category, I think Iguodala is the winner here. Accolades are based around success, and you can't really compare the 4 championships that Iggy has won to Anthony not winning anything. Yes, Melo does have a scoring title and more All-Star appearances, but that isn't nearly as impactful to the accolade category as championships and Finals MVPs. Next up, we're going to look at their team's success over their career. There's no question each of these guys have a winning impact. However, one of these players has done a lot more than the other. We're starting off with Melo. He's had such an unfortunate situation over the course of his career. Anthony helped turn the Denver Nuggets around completely for years, but they were always just one piece away from taking it all the way to an NBA championship. When he switched over to the Knicks, he didn't really get much success, and the same goes for when he was with the Oklahoma City Thunder, Houston Rockets, and the Portland Trail Blazers. I think those Denver years really showed how he can impact an organization, though. Meanwhile, Iguodala, he was a consistent factor in the NBA playoffs. He made the playoffs about 50% of the time during his years with the 76ers to start off his career. It wasn't really anything crazy compared to the playoff appearances that Melo made during the early years of his own career, though. He really took the turn when he joined the Golden State Warriors, as he was a key veteran leader for a team who needed somebody to do it all on the floor. Iggy helped them into the postseason for consecutive years and eventually went on to play for the Miami Heat for 2 years to do the exact same thing over there. If we're talking about which player has more impact on team success, again, I'm rolling with Iguodala on this one. His numbers are a little lower, but he's certainly been considered more of a valuable asset to a championship-level team lately. Melo definitely got close to turning this conversation around when he was with the Nuggets. It just ultimately wasn't enough at the time, and because of that, he loses this category. Another category we want to look at is highlights, and both Melo and Iguodala have been able to shock the world a number of occasions. There are plays from these two that really make you take a step back from your TV and think to yourself, how in the world did he just do that? Let's take a look at a couple of their best plays to show you guys what we're talking about.
And a 4-point Golden State lead off the steal. Here's Curry going cross court, recovered by Iguodala. And he scores!
Go in. What a spectacular move.
A read, and that just deflected away. Iguodala. Goes to the double crossover.
Williams in a jailbreak. Iguodala throws down Tony. Clutch on you. Oh my goodness. 30. Rebound Millsap. Down.
Bad
Pass. Melo! Oh, wow.
Anthony by Finley.
Quickness to the basket. He takes a hit.
Down three. Should the Bulls foul? No. Anthony for three.
Bang! One with 8.2 remaining. Then the game is tied.
All right, moving on. Each of these players are known for different styles of play. Anthony has always been that impactful scorer who can always go out and get you a bucket when you need it the most. He wasn't always the best defender, and his playmaking leaves a lot to be desired, but man, that scoring touch is just insane. And it still hasn't left him either. With the Portland Trail Blazers a few years ago, he was able to consistently hit big-time shots down the stretch whenever he stepped onto the court. That's certainly been the thing he's known for the most in this league. Now as for Iguodala, he's known for being that veteran leader who will do whatever's asked of him. He's a guy that every single franchise can look at and be like, I want that dude on my squad. He's a leader, he's a solid scorer in tight situations, and he can move around the court with ease. So these guys don't play the same style of basketball at all, but that doesn't take away from what they've been able to do with their own style. Alright, so who's the winner here in this matchup? Well, the different styles of play make this a pretty tough situation. Iguodala has championships, but Melo has a lot better numbers and head-to-head totals at this point in their careers. Bottom line though, I gotta say Melo has the edge in this discussion. His numbers and his performances on the court are just too much to overcome in terms of these guys' careers. But this was a ridiculously close competition for me, and I even think some of you might favor Andre due to the playoff consistency he's had and the way he leads the Warriors in the background. So, which of these players do you believe is better at this point in time? Do you agree with us that Melo deserves the title, or maybe disagree? Let us know down below in the comments.